Hey everyone, it is good to be with you. It is January 5th on Read Through the Word. I'm always interested to know, are you watching first and then reading, or are you watching in the morning? Are you watching at Carline? I remember the first time I read Through the Word, through this Bible, I did it at Carline. I intentionally left to go pick my children up from school early so that I could sit in Carline and do my reading. So it would be fun, maybe even on our Facebook page. And if you're not on our Facebook, that's fine. But in the comment section on our website, if you would just for fun share, when do you have your reading and your video time, and just open up a little bit personally, like, share that kind of thing. And so we can get close to one another. Yeah, that'd be fun. I personally do mine in the morning. I am a meet with Jesus before I meet with my people kind of girl. And so it's still very, very dark when I get up. But I like it that way because if I don't meet with Jesus in the dark, when the lights come up and the sun comes up, I start getting distracted by all the things around me. So, yeah. All right. Let's get to our reading today. Abraham believed the Lord, and the Lord declared him righteous because of his faith. Abraham, along with many other great people of the faith that we will read about, and they are people, they're not characters in a story. I just can't call them a character. Characters are in movies and they're make-believe. These are people. But many people that we will read about of great faith are mentioned in Hebrews 11, which is kind of been named the Hall of Faith. And Abraham is one of them. And, I've always wondered, my goodness, would my name be in the Hall of Faith? Could it be said of me that my faith was great because? And here's, I want us to back up to yesterday's reading in Genesis 12, where God tells Abram, at this time, wasn't named yet. His name had not been changed yet. He says, all the families of the earth will be blessed through you. And there is all manner of scripture in the New Testament to support the statement that all families of the earth include us, the Gentiles, which are the not Jews. And we'll learn more about that. I don't want to get real heavy on all of that. We'll learn a lot of that when we get to the New Testament, which, by the way, starts September 25th, I think, or 4th, by the way. So we have quite a while to go. But my question, and I wrote in my journal today, is this: whose blessing is depending on my belief and faithfulness? Abram believed the Lord, and the Lord declared him righteous because of his faith. And through Abram, we know that all families of the earth will be blessed through him. Whose blessing is depending on my faith and my belief and my faithfulness and my faith to God? Scary. Those that have yet to be born in my line, my family line, I want them to be blessed. I want the branches of the family tree to be traced back to a woman who was faithful and who believed God, and he counted it as righteousness to her. That's the woman I want to be. Abraham was having this conversation with God about the fact that he didn't have any children. He was pouring his heart out to God. God, now how are you going to do this if I don't have an offspring? I mean, we can use my servant. But God said, look up in the heavens and count the stars if you can. Your descendants will be like that. Too many to count. This word believe is almond. Almond, not almond like the nut, and not amen, but almond. And it means to be firm or faithful, trust and believe, to be permanent and to be true. So to be steadfast in it, to be rooted in it, and it to be part of you. Unbelief keeps us from experiencing God's greatest work in our life. He believed God. Abram believed God, and he left. We talked about that. He left the place to be to go to a place unknown. Abraham trusted God. And we don't see this conversation that says, sure, God, I got it. I'm going to trust you. We look at his actions. Yes, he messed up. He did the whole thing with the baby and Hagar and that soap opera debacle. He did mess up. But here's the thing. We can be faithful. We can have belief in God and still mess up and still be usable in the kingdom's work. And Abram is a great example of that. Abraham is a great example of that. I included today a link, and if you're new with Read Through the Word, I occasionally do this because I do a lot of reading and a lot of research, and there are some sources I trust and some sources I don't. But this is a source that I do trust. This is crosswalk.com. I've done ministry on their site for many years through Proverbs 31. And there's a great article on doubt versus unbelief and the difference in those. And I think it would be worthwhile if you popped over there and read that today. But let's believe God so that those that come behind us will receive a blessing they weren't expecting. Because here's the thing. I know that my grandma believed. And I know that I'm sitting here as a recipient of a blessing of her belief. Our faithfulness and our belief, our steadfastness in God can change the generational line of our family. It can. Yes, it can. Believe God. Believe God. We'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.